Alrighty, let's go. Welcome back into the Scooshy Sport Podcast and your weekly sports roundup, your Global Sports Roundup, where I bring you all the latest sporting news from around the globe in the last week, covering all sorts of sports, and essentially today as well, from your cricket, your darts, your golf, your American sports. It's all bloody happening here on this episode of the Scooshy Sports Report. You'll see my flickering light in the background now. It's new, shouldn't be flickering. That's all good. The show goes on, but if you've missed it, obviously yesterday, or not obviously yesterday, but at the moment, I've just started to bring out season previews in the NRL for each team slowly. So I've had the Raiders and the Seagulls come out yesterday. I've done those two. And tomorrow, of course, I'll have my Red Zone report for week 15. Just to let you know, we're coming off our best week of the year as well, which is just unreal to see. So I'm bloody amped for week 15. But if you like the content and you like that sort of stuff, make sure you hit the like button, give it a mass smash like button, and subscribe to the channel as well. It really does help the channel build early on for what I want to do. Make sure you follow all my socials, all at Scooshy Sports as well. Posting daily reels, daily posts, updates, all that sort of thing. All right, let's get into it. As I said, for this episode, we're going to cover, of course, my Women's Player of the Week. Going a little bit different as well for this one. Covering the cricket with the Ashes, of course. The darts with the World Darts Championship starting this Friday in the UK, which is so freaking exciting. Crossing over to the golf, which are in the sort of the Australian Summer of Golf, which essentially just finished with the Aussie Open. Giving you my thoughts on that, and we're going to finish it off, of course, with our weekly American sports review. Bit of NFL, bit of NBA, bit of ice hockey as well, and that will do it for the episode. But nevertheless, let's get into it, and it's our Women's Player of the Week for the Scooshy Sports Podcast. And obviously, I hope you guys can understand at this time of year, not a whole lot of sort of big sports going on, especially in Australia, like no NRLW, AFLW is finished. We've obviously got WBBL happening at the moment, but all your sort of big sports is just the seasons that come to an end over the Christmas break, your golf seasons, that sort of thing, tennis. This week, I've gone for a women's college basketball player. Did a bit of research on this one, and this one really does set the light for me here. And her name, my women's player of the week, is Rima Collins. So she is from FIU College. She playing in the women's college basketball at the moment. So she just absolutely went ballistic during the week in a game against Georgia State. They won 103-92. She had 40 points. 21 in the first quarter as well. She went 16 out of 21 shooting, so she only missed 5 shots out of 21, which is incredible. 12 rebounds to go with that as well, so a double-double, and so a fourth double-double of the season, which is just amazing. I believe she is the fourth FIU player in women's college basketball history to have 40-plus points since 1994, so literally 31 years, and she's the fourth woman to do it. So incredible stat there. 4 assists to go along with it, 3 steals, 2 blocks, as I said, in a big win against Georgia State, 103-92. As I said, the fourth player to do that in the last 31 years for the college. She's currently averaging for the season just tickle under 21 points and basically 10 rebounds. So she's averaging nearly a double-double for the season as well. Having an incredible season, but she had an absolute breakout game there against Georgia State. So massive congratulations to Rima Collins, my Women's Player of the Week for the Scooshy Sports Podcast. All right, let's get into our sports update. We're going to start with the cricket because that is big news here in Australia. And well, what would you know? Hey, if you missed all my daily reviews, which I am doing literally daily reviews of each test, all on my Instagram, TikTok, that sort of thing, Twitter, Australia has won the second test at the Gabba by 8 wickets. Absolute dominant performance. I can't really say England really looked like they had a chance of winning this one at sort of, I guess, any stage. Maybe when Root was getting close to like hit his 100. But even then, England win the toss, decide to bat first. They get all out for 334, which it's not the worst total in the world. And you got to admit that 10th wicket partnership was about 60 or 70. it kind of did give him a little bit of a sniff, right? If they were to able to bowl Australia out for around that sort of same number, you may have given them a sniff. Root 138 not out, his biggest score ever in Australia, his first ton in Australia. It was the biggest score so far this series, his biggest score in this game. But he had 138 not out, but 4 other players in the team got ducks. Like, what was it? Ben Duckett, Ollie Pope got a duck as well. Like, 2 of your top 3 batsmen are getting ducks. And they were 2 for 5 early in the first innings. And it's just, I get it, they had a better start in the second innings. But it's just so hard to recover from that sort of thing. And ironically, they had a better start in the second innings and scored lower. So it's just like, is Bazball working? Like, where is this team at? And like I said, they copped an absolute drubbing. Stark, 6 for 75 bowling figures in the first innings. I think he got a couple wickets in the second innings. He's had 18 wickets so far this Ashes series. Player of the match once again. So he is looking very much in line to get man of the series easily in this Ashes series so far, being so bloody good. Some breaking news while I remember as well. Josh Hazlewood is out of the Ashes. Did not play the first 2 tests, will not be playing the next 3 tests. Suffered a hamstring injury about a week or 2 before the first Ashes test, playing for the Sheffield Shield for New South Wales. He will not be playing in the Ashes test for Australia this series. The Aussie first innings, they went out and scored 511, and you would have thought 511, holy shit, who scored big? Who scored the century? No one turned up for Australia. One of the, not wildest sort of scorecards you've seen, but it was just interesting to see. I think, 5 players in the team, so half the team scored over 50. So you're talking about, we've got 5 scores over 50 for Australia in the first innings, and then you got 4 players scoring a duck for England in the first innings. Like, that's just such a massive difference, and you just can't be affording to have 4 ducks. Stark goes out and gets, 77 or something? Like 12 fours? Like, something absurd like that. A guy like Mitchell Stark, who's a bowler, 18 wickets, should not be going out and spanking 70 against England. And, like, they started well, and England just couldn't get on a roll at all. They took... One stage took 2 quick wickets, but apart from that, it was very solid partnerships. They just couldn't quite finish it off, Australia, but very solid partnerships in between a lot of the wickets, which equaled up to 511. So they had a first innings lead of 177, and it was always going to be a tight, like really not tight, but a hard fight back for England after that one there. And I started okay, then none for 40, and then Zach Crawley got out, caught and bowled. Like, Nisa had a couple caught and bowled in that second innings. Nisa, 5 for 42 in that second innings. Gets a late call-up. Wasn't he in the squad? Nathan Lyon gets dropped. The GOAT, Gaz, gets dropped out of the second test. He was filthy about. I didn't see that coming at all. They decided to go with no spin for the second test at all. Maybe like a bit of Travis Head. If you need Steve Smith to spin it, if you need Marnus Labuschagne to spin it, sure. They hardly did any spin this test, and they still dominated just with absolute pace. And Nisa was only bowling like 130, 135, but just on the money all the time. And him to take 5 for 42, he had 2 caught and bowled in succession, 2 wickets essentially in a couple overs for him in that second innings. And it's just like, what are you doing, England? It's just like, I mean, I'm not even a fan of either team, but it must be so frustrating as an English fan to be watching this when you're third ranked team in the world. I get it, Aussie's number 1, but I don't really. It's not like this Aussie lineup is like elite, right? Like, you look at the last Ashes series here, I would say that's better. Like, there's no Hazlewood, there's no Cummins. You've got an Ashes debutant at opening. You've got a guy that usually comes in at 5, Travis Head. He's opening now. Like, there's so many different things. Now you've got Nisa coming in, and there's just so many different things happening for Australia, and they still win by 8 wickets. They still dominated the other test. And like, the 2-0 down England, I just don't see how they even win a test this series. It's going to be looking like a whitewash at this stage. Apparently, they've gone on holiday between now and Adelaide up to Noosa and the Sunshine Coast. I just don't know what they're going to do. Like, what, a little break? Yeah, you deserve a holiday. You deserve a holiday. Yeah. No, you're 2-0 down. Get in the fucking nets and do some batting practice, do some bowling practice. The bowling's been woeful, in my opinion. And, like, Aussie only had, 68 or 67 to chase in that second innings. Did it with 8 wickets to spare, obviously. Steve Smith comes in at number 4, spanks 23 off 9. You know, Jofra Archer, he's not looking fit. Like, when I say looking fit, like, he bowls an over of 140, like, had a couple spells, and then he comes in bowling, like, 130, 132. A complete drop-off in pace, and just mean, like, he just can't seem to do long spells. And he decides to finally pick up the pace in that last over against Steve Smith, literally in the last over of the match, bowling over 140 clicks, bounces at his head, and then, like, you know, like, Jofra Archer starts, you know, chatting to him, saying, like, oh, you can only hit those shots when, like, it doesn't, you know, when it's only a small target. And why are you chatting shit when you're getting smacked? And Steve Smith just comes out and says, you bowl fast when there's nothing going on, champion. And look, Steve Smith, he's done what he's done in the past with the sandpaper thing. It is what it is. But, like, 100% such a good chirp there. Like, just shut up and, like, just, you know what I mean? Like, he's just basically saying, like, you've only decided to bowl good now when it literally there's nothing going on. And it's literally true. They're always going to win that test match when they're chasing 68 or 67. England were never bowling them out. And, yeah, England have really got some soul searching to do for the rest of the series. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, done Christmas for them. They've still got another month for the test squad in here in Australia. It's going to be a long series for England if they keep this up. I just don't see where they can turn another page. In all honesty, I just don't see it. I just think I can honestly see a whitewash, and they haven't won a test here since the 2011-2012 series. They got beaten 5-0 in, like, 2015. They lost 4-0 in whenever it was, 2019 or something, and now they're going to get whitewashed again. And, like, how will England turn us around, especially in Adelaide, where Australia pretty dominant in Adelaide? I just don't see where it turns around. So, yeah, Australia win by 8 wickets the second test there, and it's a pretty dominant display there. Like, no player even scoring a century, and they still score 511. So they're in a very good patch of form at the moment, the Aussies. They're not really looking like losing. Good batting, good bowling with Stark, 18 wickets. Even when you're getting Nisar and you're getting Doggett coming in, still taking wickets, it just screams alarm bells for England. But, yeah. Moving on, probably the better test actually of the weekend. That was New Zealand against the West Indies in their first test, which started during the week. This finished in a draw. And these two teams, West Indies batted first, very too low scoring. I think it was like 160, and then New Zealand went out and got, 220 or something. Oh, sorry, New Zealand batted first, got 220. West Indies went out, got rolled for 170 or something. New Zealand go back out, get literally 480 or something like that. Tom Latham gets 145. Ravinder gets 176. West Indies chasing 531 in a day and a half, which I was obviously never going to do. Never going to do. Holy dooly. They're 4 down at stumps at the end of day 4, putting in a pretty reasonable effort. And then they only lose 2 wickets on day 5. And honestly, at the end of the second session at T, they honestly had a chance to go and win this. I think they were 6 down for 430, I want to say. Greaves, 202 not out. I think Kumar Roach was in. He got a half century, but Greaves was suffering a bit of an injury apparently late in that third session, which meant they decided not to sort of go for the win. They were very much in this to go for the win, chasing 531. Would have been a world record by a country mile. I don't have off the top of the dome what the world record is, but that would be a record that would not have been beaten for years and years and years and years. So massive respect to West Indies for staying in that game and punching out a draw. New Zealand should be filthy with themselves, only getting 6 wickets in a day and a half. Now they've got 2 tests to go. We'll see how that goes. I think the second one starts today when you're listening to this one. But yeah, it looks like a very good series, that one. Moving on to the darts. So not too much to sort of actually talk about. It's just more the World Championships. The World Darts Championships start Friday morning here in Australia, which is super bloody exciting. It runs for literally like 3 weeks over Christmas. There's literally Christmas time. I know my dad is absolutely peaking at the moment. He literally said it's Christmas time for him. I get it is Christmas time, but he is just so done excited for this. His boy Luke Littler, $1.90 to defend his championship. He is on the opening night, so the world champion always plays on the opening night. He plays to Friday morning. I forget who he's playing, but he should absolutely roll through. I would be pretty shocked if he doesn't get through to the final and defends this one here. But if you haven't watched darts before or you're not aware of it, get around the darts if you're looking for something to watch. It is unreal atmosphere at the Ali Pali there, and you'll absolutely love it. Moving on to the golf, and we had the Aussie Open at Royal Melbourne on the last weekend, which is an absolute rounding success. I think 120,000 people went through the gates, which was the biggest attended Aussie golf event we've ever had, which is really good to see for Aussie golf, right? And Rory McIlroy was obviously in town, which is a huge impact. Royal Melbourne as well, one of the best courses in the world, like top 10. And it literally just is such a sign as to, like, I'm going to turn this light off while I'm on the podcast because it's actually starting to annoy me now. There you go. Why is there not more high leverage tournaments in Australia, golf-wise? I get it. It's such big travel, but you know, the PGA Tour season finished how long ago? I get there's these other events going on, but these marquee players aren't playing it. And the fact that they've got this Hero World Challenge on in the Bahamas on the same week as well, it's just a kick in the guts. And it's just like, PGA Tour, what are you doing? Like, what is World Golf doing? Get it together, pair with Live Golf or something, and get something happening where there's like a PGA Tour, World Tour kind of thing. We have like one big stop in Australia, then you have one big stop in Japan or Korea, and like go to a bit of Europe or even South America or something. Why is this not happening? Why? It just boggles my mind. The crowds, if you watched it in Royal Melbourne, were awesome to see. And there's literally, 3 of the top 50 players in the world playing? Like, the Aussies will turn up for this. Like, we're so deprived of, like, good golf tournaments here. We get obviously the Aussie Open, but we don't get, I said, 3 of the top 50 in the world played. We get the President's Cup here every 10 years or something. We are so deprived of good golf here in Australia, and it's just so good for the game here. And you're only going to get more golfers going and more younger people, like more golfers getting into it, more younger golfers wanting to play because they went out and saw this guy play. And we got the opportunity, to see. Literally, it could be, we got to see Scotty Scheffler come down. We got to see, Rory McIlroy come down. Tommy Fleetwood, all these, awesome players, Xander Schauffele and your Morikawas and all these talented players, and we just don't get it unless it's, a President's Cup or something. It'd be awesome to see, John Rahm come down. It'd be awesome to see, Brooks Koepka. It'd be awesome to see, Bryson come down more often. We're so deprived of good golf here in Australia. It drives me insane, and it's such a massive thing. When I was growing up with golf, and we were so deprived of it. And we've got the PGA the week before, and then you got the Aussie Open the week after. 2 events, bang bang. One's a DP World Tour event. Start the season. They both are, in all honesty, and we're just so deprived of it. And we just need more good golf here in Australia. We deserve it here in Australia. Royal Melbourne is an absolute elite course to host at. There's good courses as well in Melbourne to host it at. But yeah, that's my rant. As I said, I just thought the PGA Tour having the Hero World Challenge where you got guys like Hideki, Akshay Bhatia, Alex Noren playing that sort of thing. And just why are you going there to play little 20-man events for your cash money that you got invited by Tiger when you could be coming down here getting absolutely loved by all the fans? And yeah, it just boggles my mind. But anyway, that is my rant done. Moving on to actually the Aussie Open, where we had Rasmus Nørgaard Peterson winning the Aussie Open at 15 under by 1 shot. What a bloody tournament. As I said, what a week it was. He went 67, 66, 66, and 70 on a par 71 to finish at 15 under, as I said. And He had a final round battle with Cam Smith pretty much all bloody day on that Sunday. He birdied 3 of his last 7. What was he, 2 over after 11? Looking a bit topsy-turvy. He was battling with Cam Smith. I said birdied 3 of his last 7, and then he made this up and down on 18 from the fescue of like outside the bunker. He had to go over the bunker, over a downhill slope, and then he holes like this 15-foot putt for a brilliant up and down. Cam Smith bogeys the last, 3 putts the last to lose by 1. They were both tied. They were tied going down the last, and it would have been awesome for Cam Smith as a Queenslander, as an Aussie, to win that one. The crowd was right behind him, all 30,000 of them, and unfortunately he missed a 5-footer on the last to force a playoff. But absolute congratulations to Rasmus Nørgaard Petersen, getting his first win on the DP World Tour. Absolute props to him. I know he's been battling for this win. For him to pull through was awesome to see, and he had so much emotion on that 18th when he holed that putt. As I said, at the end of the week, Cam Smith just has to tip his hat and just go, you know, I had my chance and I lost it, and he won it when he had the chance. So massive congratulations to Rasmus Nørgaard Petersen winning the Aussie Open, kickstarting his season in style. Obviously, we had Rory come down for this one, which was really cool to see a Grand Slam champion come down to Australia. He had a pretty average week, all honestly. Finished 8 back, 7 under, finished tied for 14th. Never was really in contention either. I think he had 1 over in his first round. It looked like missing the cut potentially in the second round. Pulled it back. Had a couple good rounds on the weekend, but huge crowds for Rory. I know he really appreciates it, and I know he's sort of got Australian golf a bit more on the world map, which is really cool to see. Adam Scott, super consistent, right? Still doing it. The age he's doing it. Finished 5th outright at 11 under, a few shots back. And then Minwoo Lee was 10 under going into the last round, a couple shots off. Finished T14 for the week, 3 over in his last round, which he would not be impressed with. One of the talents coming through Aussie golf at the moment, I think, will be a major champion in the future. I think he's a top ranked. I think he's a top ranked Aussie. I think at the moment, I'll have to actually confirm that. Speaking of the Hero World Challenge, as I mentioned before, it's literally a 20-man tournament that Tiger Woods hosts in the Bahamas. He just picks like 20 players that he likes, like the top players on the tour, and invites them over for a week in the Bahamas. And they play this stupid little event where it's no cut or anything. It's just, and there's like hardly any crowds in the Bahamas. And it's the easiest course. They tear it up every single time. Hideki won that one in a playoff against Alex Noren at 22 under. And it's just super low scoring. I said, I just don't know why I just don't know why. I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. Anyway, that was me, my rant done. Crossing over to American sports, baby, and we're going to go to the NFL. The NFL has 4 weeks to go in the regular season, and it is all bloody happening. We had some epic results happen over the weekend, especially for my Carolina Panthers, in all honesty. We had the bye this week, which was very well deserved, but the Buccaneers had a huge chance to go 1 win ahead of us in the division. Just had to beat the Saints at home. And they didn't. They were 8.5 point favorites, and they lost. So bloody good from my perspective. You love to see it. Now we are both 7-6 in the division. We still have to play each other twice. It doesn't happen this week. We play each other in round week 16 and 18. I believe that match in week 18 will probably decide it all, who's going to win that division. If the Panthers win the NFC South, oh my goodness gracious me, I will be so over the moon. From what I kind of expected in the preseason, what everyone was saying in the preseason, we had no chance. You know, crap coach, crap quarterback, crap defense, and to do this would be absolutely awesome. So excited for the boys this week against the Saints. We had some cracking games though. Bills had a massive win against the Bengals, 39-34. Come from behind win. Pick 6 in the fourth quarter did it. Nearly lost my Bengals +7 bet, which was nearly infuriating. As I said, Saints beat the Buccaneers. We had the Steelers with a huge road division win against Baltimore. Both these teams were at 6-6 in the division, playing each other for the first time this year. And essentially this team, whoever won this match, was going to get an essential leg up in the division with 4 weeks to go. Ravens are looking nowhere near it at the moment. I don't know what's going on with the Ravens at the moment. Their offense looks bad, defense looks bad. They think the refs are against them, and they're 3-5 at home. They've lost 2 easy games against the Steelers and the Bengals back-to-back weeks when they had such a good opportunity to solidify themselves at the top of the AFC North, and they've completely blown it. Now, they've got to go to Cincinnati this week, where they lost to them 2 weeks ago on Thanksgiving. Then they've got to play New England, who are top of the AFC. Then they've got to go to Green Bay, and then they play the Steelers in Week 18. They've got a really hard schedule coming up, so best of luck to the Ravens. I don't think they deserve to make the playoffs, in my opinion. We had Denver winning their 10th game in a row, which is absolutely nuts. They are now 11-2. Should be sitting pretty close to top of the AFC now. I think them and the Patriots have the same record. Yes, they do. Denver's actually sitting atop of the division at the moment because they have a better conference record. Wild to see that both them and the Patriots on a 10-game win streak. Indianapolis, poor Indianapolis. Daniel Jones goes down with an Achilles injury, tears his Achilles against the Jacksonville Jaguars over the weekend. That is essentially their season done. They were 8-1 4 weeks ago. They are now 8-5. They now have to play Seattle this week. They have still got to play the Jags again, I believe, in the division week 18. I'm not sure who they have in the other 2 weeks. They're probably going to have a rookie starting for them this week against Seattle. If it's not, I've heard Phillip Rivers is trying out for them this week. He is 44 years old, has not played in the NFL in 5 years. 5 years. Insane. Big win for the Green Bay Packers, 28-21 over Chicago. That takes them to the top of the NFC North. Bears go from number 1 seed in the NFC down to number 7 seed. The NFC is wild this year. It is so unbelievably tight. We've got so many teams sitting at that sort of that 9-4 sort of mark. Obviously, you got your 4 division winners. Seattle's at 10-3, San Fran's at 9-4, and then Chicago is at 9-4 as well. So insanely tight at the moment. Detroit is sitting 8th at 8-5. They're not looking that great at the moment. They had a good win against Dallas, but the defense is banged up. The offense clicked a little bit better against Dallas, but their defense is so banged up at the moment. So it's going to be so interesting to see how this end of season ramps up. Really, the Rams, they're looking pretty good. They sit atop of the NFC at the moment at 10-3, and obviously the big story. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes and co. are very, very likely now to miss the playoffs, where they lost 3 straight in a row now, and just bad losses, man. Like that loss last week that they had against Dallas on Thanksgiving, and now the Texans this week losing 20-10. And I think it's a mixture of things, but what I want to say, Andy Reid, the coach, went for it on their own 31 in the last quarter with 10 minutes to go in a tie game. Just punt it away, Andy. Just punt it. There's no need to be that aggressive. 10 minutes to go. So much time. It was 10 apiece. Both defenses were killing it in that game. Just punt it away, Andy. And I think it's just kicked, ironically, punted away their season. And even if they win in 10-7, I don't think they'll make it just because of how loaded the AFC is at the moment as well. They've got Buffalo as well as a wild card, and the Jags as well, and the Texans as well. They're looking like the 3 teams who will be the wild card spots, and they've lost to all 3 of those teams now. And I just don't see where they're going to get the tiebreak. Chargers are 9-4, Bills are 9-4, and Houston's 8-5. The only thing I could really see happening is Texans have to not finish 10-7, and Chiefs have to win in. So that would mean Texans go 1-3 in. The Colts would have to... They do have the tiebreaker of the Colts. It's the only thing that can happen that is stopping the Texans. And Texans are a big favorite against Arizona this week as well. So bye-bye Kansas City Chiefs. Potentially dynasty over. And honestly, they don't deserve to make the playoffs. They've looked pretty bloody horrific, I think, this year. I was listening to a podcast this morning and they said they don't suck. They just haven't got in the way. They've just got in the way of themselves. They're still good. It's but doesn't that make them suck? The dropping passes, the stupid coaching calls, all that sort of thing. They've just sucked this year. It's plain and simple, and they don't deserve to make the playoffs, in my opinion. And That's that. Another talking point. Eagles, Super Bowl champions. Lost 3 in a row. Now sit 8-5. If only the Dallas Cowboys won against the Lions on Thursday, they'd be sitting, 7-5-1. One win off the division. Crazy times, but I think Philly will still win the NFC East, but they are not looking good. I think they'll get caught up in the playoffs first week. I think they'll get battered. I think they've got it coming for them. I think they're just getting away with it at the moment, and they haven't in the last few weeks, but they're just getting away with these performances. And it showed today, Jalen Hurts, 4 interceptions, threw interception, Chargers fumbled it, he gets the fumble back, then he fumbles it himself. 2 turnovers in one play, first player to do that in literally like 50 years. Nothing's going right for Philly at the moment. I think they'll get very much caught out when it comes to playoffs and when it matters, and I think they'll get smacked and it'll be bye-bye. We'll have new Super Bowl matchup easily for sure. Very interesting times in the NFL. All right, crossing over to the NBA. And last week, I spoke about my sort of teams of the week, good and bad. And last week, it was Boston who went 3-0 in that week, having some very good wins. And they're still the team of the week. They went undefeated this week as well. 4-0, beating some very good teams. They have not lost in that 2 weeks. They're now seeing, third in the Eastern Conference now, I think. Yep, they've won, they've had some... They're 8-2 in the last 10. They've now moved to 15-9 for the season. I think they started the season 0-4 or something. So they've really come back really well and now looking like a formidable force, even without Jason Tatum. Scoring some really good points. Defense is really good as well, though. One of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the Eastern Conference at the moment. And the worst team of the week, still the Chicago Bulls, baby. Went 0-4 last week. Still went 0-4 this week. Had some really bad losses again. I believe they lost to the Pacers again. Got smashed by them. Where are they in the Eastern Conference? They've now lost 7 in a row. 2-8 in the last 10. 9-14 in the season. Now out of the actual playoff standing, play-in standings. They are looking horrific at the moment. Horrific with a capital HORRIFIC. Looking at the MVP odds. So last week, we've had very minimal movement, but last week we had Jokic and SGA both at 250. Now we've got SGA at 250, Jokic at 260. Doncic has gone from 375 out to 380. They're pretty much your top 3 candidates for the NBA MVP. Giannis was there in the odds last week. He is Gonski. He is injured. He is going to get traded in the trade period, guys. He is going to get traded. Giannis is going to get traded. My pick is going to be to the Knicks. I think he'll go to a team that is going to go very close to winning a championship. All the Knicks have to do is just win the Eastern Conference, just try and get to the finals against OKC and just have a hell of a run and beat them. OKC, for me, is 100% going to be in this finals. Once again, I'll be shocked if they don't win the league. They are looking unbelievable. They're just destroying teams. Yet again, they haven't lost in the last week. 15 wins in a row now since that one loss to Portland. 23-1 they are at the moment. They are nearly odds-on favorites to have the best record ever in the NBA, which would be 74-8, I believe, over 82 games. And they are looking unbelievable. 11-0 at home. They're just looking so strong. As I said, the one loss is to Portland, which are up 20 at one point, and then they just choked it away, which is very bizarre to see. But, interesting. Speaking of the Western Conference, you still got the Lakers and the Nuggets up there and the Rockets. I think these are easily the top 4 teams going around in the conference at the moment. The other sort of 5 or 6 that ran out the play-ins, I really kind of don't really rate. Big talking point is LeBron. His 10-point game streak is Gonski's. 1,257 games or something across 18 years. It's Gonski's. Lost it against the Raptors, scored 8 points, and honestly had a chance to do it on the buzzer for the win. Very unselfishly assisted off to Hachimura, who gets the buzzer beater 3 from the corner. And yeah, streak is gone now. Everyone's going to say, oh, the streak's still going in the US, but because the game was in Toronto. Come on, man. Do better. Just do better. As I said, you still got the Nuggets and the Rockets there. They're still literally 5.5 games behind OKC, man. yeah, the OKC is just dominating. But as I said, your Lakers, your Nuggets, and Rockets are still looking pretty good. I think they'll pretty much be your top four. You still got the Spurs there hanging around in fifth place. They're still without Wembanyama. They're still, I mean, they played the the Pelicans today. They're up 20 points at halftime. Then at one point at the end of the third quarter, the Pelicans were leading. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? The team like the Pelicans, who are 3-22 on the season, 1-9 in the last 10, should not be doing that against a team like the Spurs. Spurs ended up getting a win, but very worrying signs there for sure. But yeah, not too much else, I guess, to report. Like your Timberwolves, your Suns, Golden State hanging in there despite they're so banged up. They've had a really tough schedule though. A lot of big road trip. I think they've just finishing off now like 12 out of 13 games on a road trip, one game at home in between. But I just don't see like the Timberwolves, the Suns, Warriors, Grizzlies, or Blazers doing much when it does come to like playoffs around there. If they do make the playoffs, I just think there's your top four teams. Maybe when Wembanyama comes back really strong, maybe Giannis gets traded to the Spurs or something. That'd be wild. Or one of these other teams. But I think it's going to get traded to the Knicks. I just have this feeling. Speaking of the Knicks, they are sitting second in the Eastern Conference at the moment. Still looking strong. 8-2 in the last 10. Detroit Pistons still leading the Eastern Conference at 19-5. Still looking pretty solid, still hanging up there, 7-3 in the last 10. Kay Cunningham still looking pretty good. As I said, Boston is definitely the in-form team at the moment, but these other teams in Eastern Conference at the moment, like the Magic are kind of here and there, 7-3. Like Heat is struggling, the Sixers are struggling, the Cavs are nowhere at the moment. The Atlanta Hawks started really hot. Now they've sort of fallen off a bit. The Bucks started really hot. Giannis gets injured. They turn to the worst team in the league, pretty much. 2-8 in the last 10 since Giannis is gone. They may as well just tank. Giannis is going, guys. He wants to go. He's deleted all his social media posts. He is going to go to another team, which he's won his championship with Milwaukee. Now he wants to win more and with another team. I think he is going to go to the New York Knicks. I think they're looking for that one big player to go with Karl Anthony Towns in that team and Jalen Brunson. I think he is going to go to the New York Knicks in that February, maybe even January there. All right, let's finish this episode off with a little bit of ice hockey chat. And bit of a weird one at the moment, honestly, because you've got teams like your Tampa Bay Lightning, who I spoke about last week, absolutely on fire at the moment, won 7 in a row, blitzing the Eastern Conference, and now they've lost 4 in a row since. How does that work? How does that work? They lost against the Leafs today, 2-0. The Leafs literally had their third goalie in a backup of the backup, and they couldn't even score, which is wild to see. Then you got the Detroit Red Wings. What? This is insane. Now leading the Atlantic Division, sorry. They should not be leading that division, considering you've got the Leafs, you've got the Lightning, you've got the Panthers in that division. Red Wings, I didn't think would be super bad, but not leading the division after 30 games, which is just wild to see. And they're still 4-4-2 in the last 10. The Atlantic Division is so bloody tight at the moment. Like the Leafs were coming last, I think, last week. Now they've had a few wins, 6-2-2 in the last 10. Boosted them off. Now they're 3 points off the top of the division. It's just like wild to see. Washington Capitals in the Metro, they were literally last. Like, what was it, last week or the week before? Now they've gone 8-1-1, and now they're sitting top of the Eastern Conference. What? Where were they last week? Let me check where they were last week. They won 4 games in a row. They were 2 points off the top of the Eastern Conference. So it's starting to build some wins. Now they've just kept continuing. Ovechkin is on absolute fire at the moment. He is just cooking. I don't know how he does it considering how old he is, but wild scenes. Absolute wild. And then I guess like a team like the Panthers, who are still $10 to win the Stanley Cup, fourth best odds, better odds than the Oilers, better odds than the Stars, better odds than the Capitals, than the Devils, and they're trying to string together some wins. Where are they in the whole rankings? They're 14, 12, and 2. They're sitting in the bottom half of the table. You know, they're 5, 4, and 1. They're banged up to shit. They're still, I get it, they've got players coming back, right? They've still got Kachuk to come back in the new year, maybe after the Olympics. Still got the captain Barkov to come back before the playoffs. They just have to make the playoffs and they'll be fine, I think. Just so whack. It just changes so quickly. What hasn't changed is the Colorado Avalanche. 9-0-1 in their last 10. They have had one regulation loss so far this year in 25 games. They are absolutely on fire. Nathan McKinnon is destroying teams with a capital D at the moment. He is everywhere. They are well on top of the league. What are they seeing on 48 points at the moment? Next is on 45, which is Dallas, and then next is 39. So those two teams are well on top of the league at the moment there. They're easily the two best power ranked teams going at the moment, and it's not even close. I'm just trying to find the power rankings on ESPN. So they've got Avalanche at 1 and 2, Hurricanes at 3, Tampa Bay at 4. The Wild are at 5, are playing some good hockey, and the Capitals are now at 6. They were literally 12th last week in the power rankings. You still got the Ducks in the top 10, which is good to see. Let's see where they've got Florida, because I'm really interested. Still scrolling. 26. Holy dooly, they've dropped a bit. Oh my goodness gracious me. They've got the Leafs hit above them. Wow. The Stanley Cup finals from last year, the last 2 years, the Panthers and the Oilers are sitting 26th and 27th as a power ranking. That is so insulting. You know that is when they've got the bloody Buffalo Sabres at 28th, who are rubbish. They lost 7-4 today against the Flames. This league is absolutely nuts, man. It is just so nuts. It just upsets happen all over the show. I'm going to say the cream of the crop will start to sort of rise after like the break, the Olympic break. Like the Oilers are starting to play a little bit better now. McDavid's had a hat trick during the week. They smashed, they smashed someone during the week, like 8-3. But then they go and lose at home to the Wild, like 1-0. It's just like, what is going on? It's just so hard to predict at times. But I'm going to say the cream of the crop will start to sort of rise. You got the Jets. They're 14, 13, and 1. Like they have the 6th worst points in the league at the moment. It's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. But leader-wise, individual, McKinnon is just still blitzing it. 49 points across the season, and they've played less games than everyone else. What is really cool, I think, is your last 2 number 1 draft picks in Celebrini and Connor Bedard, in 2023, 2024, top 5 or top 4 in the points, which is really cool. I know the number 1 draft pick this year, Matt Schaefer, is killing it for the Islanders as well. McKinnon is leading the goals at the moment with 24 as well, so he's just everywhere at the moment. Best plus minus as well by a country mile. Your plus minus is like, you know, when you're on the ice and you score, that's when you get your +1, and then you get -1 if you're on the ice and like you concede essentially. So he's +35. The next is +28. It's just all Avalanche players at the top there, which, I mean, it makes sense. They're just dominating everyone. And what is the big thing for them, as I said previous episode, is they've got a good goalie now. Scott Wedgwood, 2.07 GAA, so goals per game he's conceding, which is phenomenal. Top 3 in the league at the moment. And that's exactly what they need. It's just exactly what they've been missing. He's got the 4th best save percentage in the league at the moment. And yeah, they're absolutely dominate. Easily still the pick, I think, to win the Stanley Cup. Like, who's going to beat them over 7 games in a series? I just don't see it. Like, you got the Avalanche, you got the Canes, Lightning, Panthers, Knights, Oilers, Stars, Capitals, Devils. So they've still literally got the cream of the crop at the top of like favorites for the Stanley Cup, right? They've still got the Leafs at 31. It's like, it's just wild. And they've still got the crap teams like really high odds. So they're not it looks like odds-wise, they're not really picking anyone that's surprising that's going to kind of step up. Like, they've still got the Jets there amongst it. It does look like over the course of 82 games after the Olympic break in January that the cream of the crop will still sort of rise is what they're looking at. So, but yeah, very interesting. I absolutely love the ice hockey though. It's so bloody good to watch. I watch it every day if I can, sneakily at work. Don't tell me, boss. But yeah, But that will do it for this week's episode of the Scooshy Sports Report, your Global Sports Roundup. As I say, massive congratulations to Rima Collins, my Women's Player of the Week in women's college basketball, scoring 40 points in a breakout game. So bloody good to see, but gave you my review on roundup of the cricket, the darts, the golf, and your 3 American sports going at the moment, the NFL, NBA, and NHL. Remember to give it a massive like and subscribe to the channel as well. Follow all my socials. They're in the link as well in the comments bio on the video. Make sure you check that out. As I said, posting literally daily there. Your NFL recaps, your sporting previews for the week, podcast clips, anything that's going on, it's all there. Remember to check out my 2 season previews that just come out. I'm literally going to be having 2 to 3 a week come out, probably on Tuesday for you. And don't forget tomorrow, Red Zone Report for Week 15, coming off the best week of the season so far. Destroyed the board in NFL Week 14. We are going to hit it again. Cannot wait to bring that to you. As I said, guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been Scooshy Sports, and cheers.